Hello and welcome back to FrogClan. I am picking up right where we left off. We just got done with the devastating attack from the two legs on our clan, and thanks to the amazing intervention of Drizzlestar, a few extra clanmates managed to pull through that may not have otherwise been able to. Drizzlestar then sacrificed all of her 9 lives in the process of the attack, but she does not regret that and hopes that the cat that's following in her paw steps now, Softstar, would do the same. In fact, she'd take that a step further and say that she knows that he would. And that's why she felt comfortable doing so. FrogClan managed to hide in the debris of the ship that brought the two legs to them in the first place, looking for treasure in the lighting and the tools that they had on hand and the dogs that they brought with them to try and seek out the treasure to harm and ruin these cats. Not every cat made it out unscathed, and a far greater of them did not survive the attack at all. But FrogClan itself does survive, and shockingly, it's probably more than I thought it would ever be, even with help. So we could have very well been left with only a couple of cats or even no cats at all from that. So I'm very grateful for what we do have. We are going to go ahead and we're going to kick off with our patrol. These are the only cats that are even able to patrol. And we're going to try and rebuild the clan this episode as best as we can. Oh, also something I do want to mention is that with the attack, that's going to go ahead and reset all attempts that we have for passing up on patrols, so everybody's going to have a fresh start for year 2. Moving into year 3, it'll still get reset, but I think cats are going to have a bit more of a break with what happened. Lotushay goes out to collect herbs, but it's distracted Tay and affects their work, so she's unsuccessful. No doubt reflecting on what happened, and if there's anything else she could have done better, anybody else she could have helped, and probably most missing Carnation Tuft, her former apprentice, as she probably feels there's more she could have done, and the wise young cat whose inexperience and mutations that weren't very helpful for him weren't enough to save him. And so she's reflecting on that and the rest of the loss as they proceed. Monsieur Berry takes Sardine Rain down to the beach to train, but there's something odd here. The strange ginger cat statues seem to be purring slightly. Sardine Rain suggested to leave the beach as soon as possible. Those things don't seem entirely of this world. I have no idea what's going on with this ginger cat thing, but they're probably just like, it's a weird two-leg thing, and we've seen the danger that two legs are, and we don't want anything to do with their devices, so. But just go ahead and we'll go back to Sawstar, we'll report it, and we'll keep ourselves safe for the sake of our clan. Moving into Leaffall here, or, well, we're not quite into Leaf Bear. FrogClan welcomed Snip Husk as a new warrior, honoring their support. Snip Husk has turned into a loyal, great teacher, and she actually has recovered, it looks like, from the water in her lungs. She turned out gorgeous, by the way, with very light-colored paws, it looks like. And she is determined to protect her loved ones now that she is a healthy warrior. She feels a bit more ready for that goal. And seeing what happened to her loved ones, she doesn't want to lose any more. Lotus Shade has finally gotten rid of all their fleas. Sawstar recovers from Mycough, but then immediately gets it again. And the clan worries that the two legs may have left something behind that is causing their cats to be sick. Sawstar thinks that that wouldn't be beyond them to do that out of revenge, despite the scars that their clan left on the strange two legs, and warns the clan away from any strenuous activities. Snippaw is breathing normally again. Partridge Kit play fought a bit too hard and scraped themselves up, and Deer Kit is no longer in shock. Wisteria Berry receives a present, forget-me-not flowers, from Sardine Rain and decides to keep it with them on their pelt. Wisteria Berry is likely given the forget-me-not flowers in remembrance of the family, specifically the kits, because they're actually still an intact mate pair that they lost from the event. Aw, like the forget-me-nots. Is that one for each lost kit? So Wisteria Berry has 4 forget-me-not flowers, and it is 1 for each of the lost siblings that Sardine Rain missed, which is so sad. And then we have the grand kits now, since Sardine Rain adopted some grand kits. I did, by the way, go through just to see if Hawkpaw would have survived the event, and he definitely wouldn't have, at least not without significant help, and that probably would have meant Dristlestar choosing between Hawkpaw and Driftburn, and I'm not sure which one she would have gone with, honestly. Sawstar is thinking about battle strategies and is hoping to see more efficient ratings moving forward, as he doesn't want to lose any more cats or be taken by surprise by malicious outside attack again. Lotus Shade is feeling underappreciated, which, for as hard as she works and as much as she's done for this clan, I think the clan does appreciate her very much, but doesn't always say anything about it. Brookfruit is meeting a couple's relationship. Speaking of, let's see who even there is to mediate. I'm going to mediate these two. Both of their mates have passed away recently as a result of the Two Legs' actions, and I can see are now older warriors, possibly developing something in the wake of that loss. As our patrol is checking the border lines, we notice Raccoon Clan sent us straight into our territory. We poke around, find an apprentice that is hopelessly lost, and is distraught upon discovering they're on the wrong side of the border. We lecture them about the border lines, and our relationships have improved with our Raccoon Clan. We also probably use the opportunity to share a little bit of news about the two-leg attack and just try and get a gauge, but it seems that for the most part, at least in this first attack, FrogClan is the only, if not definitely the most, affected by the attempted treasure hunters. Even though they are excited to finally be made an apprentice, it takes a bit of coaxing by Brookfruit for Partridge Kit to step forward for their ceremony. Brookfruit washes in pride as they're named Partridge Paw and touch noses with Snip Husk. Partridge Kit's scrapes do heal, but out on patrol, Partridge Paw's heel becomes badly injured by a fox. So, I'm sure Partridge Paw is straight back to the medicine den. They turned out to be bold and are looking to challenge a warrior to a sparring match, which is probably what landed them into the jaws of the fox in the first place. Their tail is mangled. If they manage to come out of it with a scar tail, though, like Driftburn, they could get a mutated tail. Sawstar recently called a clan meeting, but in the newness of it all, forgot what to say. He's likely probably just doing regular check-ins on his clan right now, though. Lotus Shade is growing fond of Deer Kit, so she may be taking a look out for a Deer Kit for the next medicine cat, which would work better if Deer Kit was actually mutated, because we need to have mutated medicine cats. Sardine Rain is eavesdropping on Lotus Shade. Snip Husk is eavesdropping on Feather Kit. And the kittens are wondering where kittens come from. Okay, well, we're still not much better off when it comes to what we're able to do here. Lotus Shade has to be very careful with where she places her paws as she collects juniper. The icy conditions and location of where juniper grows is not very safe for her, but at least she doesn't have to dig through snow for leaves. She slowly and carefully snips off juniper among the tree's branches, using her prehensile tail to wrap around branches and support herself as she does the task. The 3 healthy warriors take the chance to sun themselves and leave bare light, and successfully manage to swap tips and tricks and advice as they stretch out and bask. Sardine Rain watches with pride as Heatherpaw is named and given to them to apprentice under. They know that they are the best choice for Heatherpaw. Deerpaw has reached the age of 6 moons and has been made an apprentice with Softstar as their mentor. Brookfruit wakes one day after moons of numbness, feeling as though the world is less dull. Driftburn slips on some rocks and they twist their paw, and Softstar's white cough is finally gone. Wasirbearer travels to FrogClan to bring them an important message, probably about some 2-leg artifacts that remained from the attack. And Driftburn will always love Drizzlestar, but it has decided to move on. So Driftburn looks like was having doubts about their feelings for Drizzlestar. And as sad as it is, given the sacrifice that Drizzlestar made for them in order for them to be able to see today, Driftburn may just be doubting that Drizzlestar actually had their intentions in mind, or maybe even they're not sure that Drizzlestar meant what they said. Driftburn does recall that Drizzlestar was having a very hard time moving about on the sand in defense of their clanmates, and was looking very tired by the time they finally came to Driftburn's aid. So maybe Driftburn is just wondering if Drizzlestar wasn't defending them out of a sense of pride or feeling like they were meant to do so, and just trying to take a last noble action that wouldn't have actually affected the outcome of Drizzlestar's own ability. So basically it's, if I'm gonna die anyway, I may as well have a better look while I do it, is kind of what Driftburn is wondering. And so Driftburn does decide to move on. Now let's take a look at these apprentices here. Heatherpaw turned out to be calm, is eavesdropping on Driftburn, probably musing over some of these thoughts. And Deerpaw, who is a little young for this, is daydreaming about having Mason kits someday. Softstar is questioning their ability to lead. He has been filled with a lot of doubt about caring for his clan and his ability to do so. But I think, given what happened, any cat would be filled with doubt, and hopefully in time, he'll realize he is the right one for the job. I did just decide to check in on Lotus Shade, just to see how she's doing since she's by herself but is older with more experience. She can care for up to 21 members, including herself, and our earth stores are pretty small, but it's enough for now. While searching for some specific herbs, Lotus Shade is startled by weird sounds and whispers on the wind. It takes ages for Lotus Shade to pinpoint the sound, but eventually they uncover the hidden birthing nest of a dead, cold queen, their newborn kits by their side. Lotus Shade makes sure that the queen is given a vigil. As the kids grow older, they'll have questions about their parent. Elders, Ghost Now wonders. Oak Kit has joined the clan, as well as Bright Kit and Oak Kit. So I don't know if that's 2 Oak Kits, or 1 Oak Kit and 1 Bright Kit. But our relationship with outsiders has improved, and we do have new kits. Elder, who, despite the name, was actually only middle-aged and a very pretty cat, is glad that their kits are safe. Oh, so it is 2 Oak Kits, okay. By request, I will name this Oak Kit Speckle Kit, since appropriately she has the speckled pelt. But it looks like we have 3 little girls. I'm going to go ahead and roll to see if any of them have any mutations. So it looks like the only cat that has a mutation is Bright Kit. So Oak Kit, who is a newborn female, marble coat and gold eyes, is a normal cat. Bright Kit, did inherit venomous teeth from one of her parents. She has a tabby pelt and cobalt eyes. She is nervous, which, I mean, growing up, if you're one of the first cats to have venomous teeth, it probably makes sense to be a little nervous. And newly named Speckle Kit is polite, but is a normal cat. So that was a very lucky find. Not really sure who would be taking care of those kits right now. As the patrol is checking the border lines, we hear an odd sound coming from a patch of beach grass. Ooh. Snip Husk takes the lead in checking the source of noise and comes face to face with an angry fox. Though they backpedal rapidly, the fox still manages to take a bite out of them before the rest of the patrol can back them up. And Snip Husk has gotten a broken bone. Oof. That's really rough. Okay, so Lotus Shade wakes with a splitting headache and cannot get out of their nest. They spend the entire day curled up trying to avoid light and noise so that the throbbing pain could subside. And we don't have enough healthy medicine cats, so cats will be sick or hurt for longer and have a higher chance of dying. Sardine Rain has gotten yellow cough in this time, and Speckle Kit has gotten a stomachache. Really hoping Lotus Shade heals soon. In all honesty, despite venomous fangs being not really a medicine cat trait, Bright Kit is probably our best eligible cat to become the next medicine cat, since these two are normal and these two are normal. So unless we make an existing warrior apprentice Partridge Paw, which we could do, really, we just don't have any options for medicine cat. But regardless, apprenticing Partridge Paw now isn't going to help anybody out now. I'll just take a quick scroll through here. As always, if you see anything helpful here or anything that is noteworthy for cat relationships, please feel free to leave it in the comment. Sawstar is also having nightmares about the event. Wasiraberry is worried for his kit. He wants to know how she's doing and hopefully that she's going to be better soon. Lotus Shade was startled awake in the wee hours by a vivid dream, and is probably wondering if that was meant to be an omen of some kind. So both Sardine Rain and Snip Husk aren't feeling well. With a broken bone, Snip Husk is going to be down for almost a year. And even then, she may not heal fully. And these are the 3 kits. They're all going to grow up to be lookers, I think. And these are all the cats that are able to patrol. I'm going to go ahead and send them all out in training. Sawstar does likely take charge of the training patrol and coordinates those for the training. Soon cats are practicing stalking each other, sharing tips about different terrain types, and discussing prey selection. And with that, guess we'll go ahead and skip another moon. Okay, unfortunately, this is not a very good moon. Sardine Rain does die of yellow cough, and Partridge Paw dies from a mangled tail. Wasiraberry feels as though they're living through a nightmare. Their kits can't really be dead. They never considered the possibility that they'd one day be without Partridge Paw or Sardine Rain. They visit their grave and stare blankly at the ground for hours upon hours, seeming like nothing but a husk of their former self. A world without Sardine Rain at their side seems cold and empty to Snip Husk. How can life continue on like nothing has happened? Snip Husk wonders if, maybe, if they're lucky, Sardine Rain might visit them in a vision from StarClan. The past moon, Sardine Rain and Partridge Paw take their place in StarClan. FrogClan mourns their loss, and clanmates will miss where they had been in their lives. Moments of their lives are shared in stories around the circle of mourners, as those that were closest to them take them to their final resting place. We have had a lot of loss in that family. Yeah, River. Yeah. We really have. Yeah. And this is all we have left. So what this reinforces to me is that, well, we really don't have a choice. Bright Kit is going to become a medicine cat apprentice. It's really our only shot to continue the clan. Poor Wasiraberry is grieving now. Brookfruit, who has lost a lot of kits, is wondering if StarClan has given Lotus Shade any prophecies lately to guide them. So Sardine Rain passed at 18 moons. And here's what Partridge Paw would have looked like. Never even got to see his apprentice sprite. He was very pretty cat. FrogClan will definitely miss all of Hosira Berry and Brookfruit's kits. The only one that remains out of 7 is Snip Husk. Those are not very good odds. So Sawstar is out with both the apprentices because that's all we have that can work. And we know StarClan renewing their scent marks ahead. We greet Sawstar. They greet Sawstar respectfully, remarking on the weather and inquiring politely about the newest members of the clan. Sawstar smiles, impressed with them. There seems to be an infection growing in Snip Husk's broken bone. Okit falls into river but is saved by Heatherpaw. Speckle Kit's stomachache has left. We are at least into New Leaf, so I'm really hoping that we're able to do something to help out Snip Husk here. I can't help but wonder if our herb stores are better, if we'd be able to save more. Lotus Shade is thinking about taking on a new apprentice, which yes, she's definitely going to have to. Okit luckily did manage to escape unscathed, and now she's pestering others to play with her. Bright Kit is nervous about leaving her siblings, and Speckle Kit is worried about Oak Kit, probably thinking that she's going to get into too much trouble. I think Sawstar is going to give Heatherpaw to Lotus Shade for a moon just to try and help her gather some herbs, because every time we've gone out to gather anything, it's been ruined. We discuss a possible dream, and luckily we do manage to gather plenty of herbs while we're out. Lotus Shade and Driftburn have gotten a running nose, hopefully just from allergies. Sawstar will always love Shorefleck but has decided to move on. There seems to be an infection growing in Snip Husk's broken bone. We were aware of that, but hopefully it's not worsening. Heatherpaw has also gotten a running nose. Sorry if this seems like it's going at a really fast pace, it's just there's not really a whole lot to remark on when all the cats are just thinking about a specific fold that they want, and there's only one patrol we can do a moon. Deerpaw is spreading rumors about their fellow den mates. I wonder what kind of rumors. Poor Bright Kid is trying to stop Deerpaws from shaking. She probably is definitely feeling some effects of pressure that the clan is already placing on her. We have a similarly successful time gathering herbs and talking about things. Okay, let's see what the other two do. We pass an octopus on land, clearly heading for the ocean. And ruthlessly, Sawstar dispatches it, paw squishing through the very squishy squish. Snip Husk wakes one day after moons of numbness and feels as though the world is less dull, and their wound is no longer infected. Heatherpaw no longer has a running nose. Sawstar has been following the progress of Deerpaw for moons and feels that it's finally time for them to get their warrior name. They are granted the name Deerfade in honor of their composure. And we are formally into Greenleaf. Snip Husk has had the broken bone for 6 moons, and hopefully they will be back on their feet in another 3, I think it is. Lotus Shade is formally into her elder years now. This is Deerfade, who turned out to be strict and a great hunter. And the influence of his mentor Sawstar caused him to become strict, it looks like. Sawstar is eavesdropping on Bright Kit, so he probably has taken interest in her next roles. Hosira Berry is still having nightmares, probably about everything that's been happening. The kits are 5 moons old, so next moon we'll be able to see them growing up a bit. But for right now, we still only have 4 cats that can even patrol. We do spy a rabbit on the opposite side of the border. It's a tempting opportunity, but it may not be wise to do so. Sawstar is leading the patrol. He has 1 pass. I don't know that I want to use it here, so I'm just going to go ahead and we'll proceed. And we leap for a rabbit but trip over a rock. Luckily, it's probably for the best, and relationships are neutral. Lotus Shade's running nose is gone. Driftburn no longer has a running nose. Wisteria Berry wakes one day, feeling as though the world is less dull. Newly named Speckled Paw has gotten heat exhaustion. Oat Paw purrs so hard that they're shaking as they touch noses with Deerfade. Bright Paw sits excitedly beside Soft Star as the meeting ends and hopes that they'll be doing something exciting like battle training first. Their claws are itching to tear at something. That's not a good sign for a cat that we want to be a healer. As Specklepaw touches noses with Deerfade, they hope that there'll be a cool mentor that won't assign boring tasks. Anything but gathering moss or tick duty. So, Deerfade, barely out of apprenticeship themselves, has 2 apprentices. And we're gonna have to probably do some shuffling of tasks and mentors there. I really don't want a cat with like a bloodthirsty or vengeful nature to be a medicine cat, but it looks like that may be the cards we've been dealt here. Heatherpaw grew up to be very pretty. She's so calm. Opaw grew to be faithful. Brightpaw is bloodthirsty. Okay. Specklepaw, who has heat exhaustion, is vengeful. Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing some training around here. So we're switching over Brightpaw to being a medicine cat apprentice because we really need to. Lotus Shade is an elder now. We don't have any other cat besides existing warriors that could become a medicine cat. So Brightpaw is going to become our next medicine cat. Hopefully Lotus Shade's compassionate nature is going to be enough to counteract the bloodthirstiness. I think I'll keep Deerfade as Specklepaw as mentor, but I think we'll go ahead and trade Oatpaw over to Sniphusk, who is loyal and a great teacher. Sniphusk has had a broken bone for 7 moons now. I think she'll be back on her feet before Oatpaw is out of apprenticehood anyway, so we'll just have to hope so. And luckily we are up a good number of cats that can patrol now. The patrol approaches a 2-legged nest perched on a beachfront while hunting. Don't know how dangerous this is. We'll proceed. Okay, 2-legged kids scare the patrol away. Ideal, I think. Let's go one more moon. Sniphusk has healed from their broken bone, and Specklepaw has recovered from heat exhaustion, and FrogClan welcomes Heather Patch as a new warrior, honoring their perspective. So we have a lot of normal cats now, but we are starting to build up on our warrior population again. Heather Patch turned out to be calm and a great speaker. Saucer is finding the responsibility of leadership to be quite the heavy burden. Brightpaw is starting a fight with another apprentice. Sniphusk thinks that Brightpaw will be a good medicine cat. Heather Patch is wondering how Softstar is doing. Brightpaw and Lotus Shade go out to collect herbs. Brightpaw is being very good about collecting herbs so far, it seems. Bettany is especially useful for cats who breathe with a rasp, and Lotus Shade is always keen to help clanmates with a condition. With the Great Hall Bettany and Lotus Shade brings back, they'll be able to dose their clanmates to prevent coughs and chest infections. Brightpaw, however, is more interested in how Bettany prevents gross, runny dirt. Nice. Deerfade sees a pod of dolphins swimming in the distance and considers it a good learning opportunity for the apprentices. A sudden storm cuts off Deerfade's words and the patrol sprints back to camp to get warm and dry. I really want to know what would have happened with the dolphins, though. Okay, speaking of storms, they are dark clouds and we wonder if we need to continue. We are definitely not. Last thing I need is the entire clan to get swept away. Go one more moon, that'll put us out a whole year from the event. Lotus Shade has gotten a stomachache, and Sawstar and Driftburn have become mates. Let's see. Yeah, they have very high feelings for one another. Okay. are older, strict males. Hopefully, they'll be happy together. Sasar is feeling content with the decision. I'm going to mediate these two to increase their like for one another and hope that that influences Brightpaw a bit more. Specklepaw maintains octopus or prey, not opponents or weird transformed dead cats or anything like that, just prey. And Sipus can't get them to take the training session seriously. They distract Opaw as well, and eventually Sipus has to give up on teaching. Okay, I think that's where we'll leave it off here. I hope you all enjoyed. We are now a year out in our recovery for FrogClan, and as always, the next event is going to be living on the horizon. So, hope that you all enjoyed this episode. It's probably a little bit shorter just because of the nature of the recovery. But I will see you next time. Until then, stay safe and bye.